Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Hi, Lynn. One person knows that somebody's up here talking to them. Thank you very much. For those of you that are new, which most of you kind of know what's going to happen here, we start 5 minutes early just so the folks at home can tune in, check their sound, and so on and so forth. So for the next 5 minutes, we have the musical stylings of John Shepard.
Good morning. Happy Sunday. We're all together again, and if you would please join me in lighting the chalice this morning. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Yes, good morning, and thank you, John. That was helpful to center our hearts today as we gather ourselves together. Good morning. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here at the Unitarian Universalist congregation at the Low Country. And I'm torn by what I should say here first. One of the things that I cannot ignore are the events in our country over the last several days. I do not have any answers for you concerning the events in our country over the last several days. The thing that I do want to be able to say to you as we find ourselves, perhaps you like me, somewhat emotional adrift in our world, not quite sure where we put our heart, our hand, or our feet down. But one of the things that I would want to encourage you as we go through the days ahead, and those days, I fear, will be long and difficult, but one of the things that we can do is find our own community. I am becoming more and more persuaded in the work that I do here in this congregation, that it is in community, it is in a sense of belonging to and with each other that we're able to ground ourselves. I can't make sense out of madness. And if I did, you guys should arrest me and put me away someplace. But what I do know is that there is in here all that we need to ground ourselves. Not solve problems, but ground ourselves. And so in any way that you're able to participate in that, in any way that you wish to engage in that, please feel free. And as we continue to move together, we will find ourselves more hopeful than many of us are today. Amen? Amen. Thank you. Now, I'd like to acknowledge those of you who are first or second time guests or visitors today. So if you're looking at me, there's a section on my far right, your left, that may have some new people in them. So if you would be willing to stand and recognize yourself, that would be helpful.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm John Hickey. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm here visiting Ann. I have known Ann's family for several decades, and I've actually visited with you all, with the congregation here a few years back. I'd like to be here again.
And John, would you introduce your guest here, please? I have been looking forward to that for 4 months. Welcome back, Ann. Welcome back. In the middle section, first or second time visitors that would be willing to stand and share your name. And on my far left, your right, first or second time visitors. Those of you that are here, welcome. You will have found that you have come into a place where kindness and mercy and grace leads. Would pray that you'd be able to find that here in the speech that we use with each other, the way we comport ourselves with each other, because this is partly about what we're about, mainly about what we're about, as we honor each other's dignity and value as human beings and continue to find ways to offer that same value to those who are around us. Kathy Zeiser, if you would please.
Kathy Z is good.
Kathy Z.
Good morning, everyone. Kathy Z. Zeiser. This is for the Care Committee, actually. Steve DeZago had contacted me a couple of times recently to get rides, mostly to our evening events, music on Maffris, movie night, whatever events we host. We have some members out there that are having difficulty getting rides and driving. They can't drive themselves anymore. So in that light, I have put out a sign-up sheet for assistance with any kind of rides anybody can give to any of our members that need it. It's out there today. If you would put your name, your phone number, and the area that you live in, Sun City, north, south, apparently, I didn't, something like that. And then for any members who have trouble getting a ride or can no longer drive here. That would be so helpful. So, and then, yes.
On top of that,
Oh, there you are.
yes, here I am. Yesterday I got a flat tire in my golf cart. And I didn't know when I was going to be able to fix it, so I may need rides just to take, so I have no transportation even in Sun City. So please sign the list.
Yeah, please sign the list, and anybody that, can help out any of our members in the congregation to get here to either Sunday service or to any of our events would be greatly, greatly appreciated. We're all probably going to be there someday, so. The other thing is, I'm sort of getting drawn back to social justice a little bit, so I've set up a little table out there with some important issues that are going on. And events, so if you would just take a look at that. And there is one in particular where, I don't know if this is too political, but it's a bill in South Carolina that will be a total ban on abortions, total. And that will affect doctors, nurses, whatever. They can all be arrested or whatever. It's just craziness, craziness. So please take a look at that and call your state senator and, give your opinion. So, and let's see. Oh, one other thing. I've been working, there's a green binder out there with multiple ways you can volunteer in our community. And with the websites and all. So take a look at that if you're interested in volunteering for something, and take a picture of it and give a call. So, all right, thank you all. Oh, I should say the help me out, Rosemary, with the coming up event up in Columbia. Scuja, thank you. Yes, Scuja. The Scuja Fall Festival. That's a lot of things spinning in my mind today. Yes, October 4th in Columbia. Information is out there also on the social justice table, and if you could consider going, I think it's a fun day and a lot of good information day. So it should be really good, and children are welcome. There are things there for the kids and for the young adults also. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Gary, you have something you'd like to add?
That's all I wanted to do. Gary Green, Buildings and Grounds Committee. Some of you may remember in the spring, we had a landscaping cleanup and gardening day. We did a lot of wonderful things. Well, it's about that time now. We're into the fall season. The leaves are starting to fall. The weeds are growing too much. And I think it's time. Come on, wait. It's time to make this work. That wasn't loud enough. We need this. Come on. So much for technology. Okay, that was supposed to be the Law and Order dun-dun. So, October 4th, the fall edition of dun-dun, Law and Order. Okay. Based on people's availability, October 4th is the day for us to do this. Hopefully people who aren't doing other things can join us, maybe bring a perennial from your garden, split up your garden, maybe go buy a chrysanthemum, wonderful fall flower, and we can pretty up our place and clean up our place. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. And hold that, Linda, if you would, please.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I'm here speaking for the membership committee. It's a little early, but we want to let you know that on October 18th, we will be having the Welcome Back to UUCL dinner for all of the snowbirds who are coming back. It will be at 6 o'clock. It will be catered by Olive Garden. The cost will be $20 for everybody over the age of 12. We're still working on it, but we will soon have in place the ability for you to buy your tickets online. Ooh, no, come on, ooh. And of course, at the door, we will take checks and cash as well. But we need to have people sign up in advance for that because we have to know how many people we need to be serving. So I am going to put a sign-up sheet out. It will be out for the next few weeks. Please make sure you sign up and let us know how many people you're bringing.
Do you know what the deadline is for sign-up so that you can order the food?
The deadline, I believe, is going to be the 15th, October 15th.
What's the date of the event again?
October 18th. It's a Saturday night. 6 o'clock. We'll be giving you more. we'll be giving you more information going forward, but I just wanted you to at least mark the date on your calendars. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Diane, and I want to thank the 18 people who signed up to participate in the Kindness Challenge. So the Kindness Challenge is committing to, committing to do one act of kindness every day for the next week. So if you haven't signed up yet, the sign-up sheet is there, and I just wanted to let you know that last week, in the children's group, the 12 Days of Kindness was read, and we had some pint-sized people sign up for a week of kindness. And I just wanted to add a story to that. 2 years ago, on Christmas Eve, I invited a friend to come to our candle lighting service, and she was particularly sad because she was away from her family. And so we're driving home in the car afterwards, and I said, what did you like about the service? And she said, well, after the service, when you were chatting, I went and sat in a chair, and a little girl came up to me and said, you look really sad, and put her hand on her and said, my name's Myra. Maya, sorry, I knew that I had that wrong. My name's Maya. And she said, I'll be your friend. So, yay. So, and here's her mom coming in the door right now. Yay, Kat! So anyway, I just wanted to hope that this week we can be as kind as Maya.
Thank you. I know some of you are aware that we're having to let go of a few of our very close friends. There's some cake that will be in the back, and we'll celebrate together and acknowledge and send off those new names in ways that are special and heartfelt. I also wanted to touch on the fact that we have this new audiovisual system. I went back and looked over it last week. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to. It's really pretty cool. So those guys back on the soundboard that have been making this happen, we're much appreciative to that. Brian, thank you so much. There's all the stories of church mouses who creep up or in the attic and stuff like that. Well, that's Brian, as he's putting those cameras up in the corners over there. But one of the things that I enjoyed, he had sent me a link to the piece, And so I was watching our speaker last week, who was a delightful, relatively short individual who was speaking. She had great things to say. It was perfect. However, the sunflowers behind her fit her head perfectly. So it looked as if she was speaking in a halo of sunflowers. She deserved it, but it might not have been what she was looking for. And I make that case because I just watched David come up here and move those sunflowers. And so, Greg, you need to know that when you're speaking, you will not be framed with sunflowers. So, it's my pleasure to invite Greg Green to have the opening words here. I found out from Greg just a few moments ago that he's a graduate of Brooklyn Casey, number one. Number one? I did my student teaching in BC, number one, and there's a chance that he might have been in my class. We're gonna do the math and see if it works out or not. So that would be irony that I would love to have happen. And so it's my pleasure to invite Greg, if you would please come and bring us your opening words.
Thank you and good morning. And like my cousin, Gary Green over there, yes, I am not as tall, so I'm thankful for the flowers being moved and the mic being lowered. As we go into the rest of today's service, thinking of self-actualization, self-reflection, and being vulnerable with ourselves internally to understand who we are, let us know that the grounding that we do is what leads us to unconditional love, is what keeps us at peace, and what allows us to reach out when we are able to see someone else's pain and say, I'll be your friend.
And now, if you would please, turn with me to hymn number 123, and may we stand and sing together, Spirit of Life. Thank you. You may be seated.
Now is the time that we get to share our abundance, which fortunately we have a lot of in our hearts and sometimes in our wallets. So for those of you that have given cans or might place them in the back, they go to Bluffton Self-Help or the food bank, and they are greatly appreciated. There's a lot of food insecurity right now, and they are, as we have learned from a lot of our visitors, that it's very much appreciated, any donations that you do make. So if you've done that, we thank you in advance. For those of you visiting, please let the basket pass, as your being a visitor here is your gift to us today. And if those that are collecting from the baskets would come forward, we're going to share our abundance with one another to sustain our wonderful fellowship here. Thank you for your generosity this morning.
Good morning. This is the time in our service where we share our joys and or concerns. If you have a joy and or concern, please come forward. Take a stone from the basket, share with us your name and a brief account of your joy and or concern, and then place your stone in the cairn.
Hello, I'm Kat, sorry. My joy is that tomorrow is Maya's 7th birthday. She is very excited. She's having a reptile-themed birthday party, and very on brand for her, I feel. And I can't believe that I've been a mom for 7 years. It's been wonderful. And so I think if there's one thing that Maya would love from anybody from her birthday, it's just a little bit of attention. So if you want to say happy birthday to her on your way out, that'd be great. And also, if there's one thing that as a mom, if I could ask for, is if you think about it, you know, she's 7 years old, she's gonna be 7, and I can't imagine what some of the moms are going through with the gun violence in schools. I can't imagine losing her. That would be pretty horrible, so to say the least. So if you think about it, and if you feel called or led to donate to Moms Demand Action, which is an organization against gun violence in our schools, I think it's a truly horrific thing to have to think about having to lose anybody, but mostly our kids. So just if you think about it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I have two joys and an announcement. The first joy is I made my musical solo debut. That's singing and playing guitar for the first time, so I'm very proud of myself. Now, I made it to an audience that I said, I think they're the best ones to make it to first. It was a Memory Matters group. So I figured it was a safe group to make my musical debut. But they did enjoy it, that was good. The second one is I got the opportunity to visit a friend in Cleveland, went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ooh, I love the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then I kind of took another flight over to Minnesota to visit my brother and his wife, looking at some opportunities for myself there, maybe. And I have an announcement, and hopefully I'm not going to make the person blush, but somebody we know had a big birthday. Uh-oh. Diana's birthday. She had a big one. I'm not going to say. I think it was 25 or something like that. So happy birthday, Diana.
Good morning. I'm Carol. This is the first time I've been back to church since February. I've had some major health challenges, and I wanted to thank everyone who gave me encouragement and support, the cards, the visits, the letters, the meals. It meant the world to me and gave me strength and encouragement, so thank you for that. That's one of my joys. The next one is joy and concern. It's hard to hear and hard to talk about, but this is my community, and I want you to know what's been going on with me for my absence. I have had chronic depression most of my life, and back in February, I was just really discouraged. I just spiraled down. I started with the loss of my dog, and then there were several other things. And then the election of Trump, which was devastating to me. I just did not think that I could bear witness to the suffering that was coming, and I didn't want to see the demise of democracy. So I planned my suicide, and I attempted in mid-April, after withdrawing from everybody, everything for a couple of months. I was found 16 hours later. I was in a coma, and I was in a coma for 3 days, and I've had several complications and infections and so on. I am mostly recovered, and that is by grace and not by me. I have to gather my thoughts for a minute. I was really disappointed at the beginning when I woke up after several days in ICU and being in the coma to find out that I was alive. In fact, I was mightily pissed off because I had planned it so well, and I had a double lethal dose. So I don't understand how I survived, but I did. And gradually, through the whole process of hospitalization and treatment and so on, I've had a transformation. I feel really different now. And I also felt the hand of the divine moving several times, and that was very unexpected and very powerful. So long, slow recovery, and I have a new appreciation for life. I violated one of my most core values, and that is the sacredness of life. I'm the one that takes out bugs and spiders out of my house. But I'm back. I'm feeling strong. I have, okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I share this because you are my community, and because I think that depression and feeling suicidal or the act of suicide is so shameful and stigmatized in our society. And I think that keeping it in the dark doesn't help. So I've decided to not be ashamed of it, not proud of it either, but not ashamed of it, and to be back in life as fully as I can, and I'm very grateful to be alive. Thank you all.
Hi, Linda again. I just wanted to give you an update. I had asked for your grace last week for my sister and my nephew. My sister, who has Lyme's, is now progressing to the point where she can go to physical therapy. My sister, who had knee surgery, is doing well, and I will be going out this week to help her in her recovery. And my nephew had solid food for the first time yesterday in 8 days. They have not yet contained or alleviated the infection, but they're hoping that they've tried 3 times to put in a drain to get it out, and it's not worked. So they're going to try again, and then hopefully he'll be able to go home sometime this week. He's been in now for 10 days, and this is the second time around. But he is doing much better, and I thank you all for your kind thoughts for all my family. Thank you.
So I'm Barbara Popka. Ed hasn't been coming to church very much lately. As many of you know, he's been having a lot of back problems, and it's gotten worse and worse. And tomorrow he has surgery, and praying that that will alleviate the pain. So, just keep him in your thoughts, and we'll hopefully by next week I'll have some good news to share with you.
I will place 2 stones in the cairn for the joys and concerns that remain unspoken, and I will place an additional stone for those families and children that have been lost to gun violence. So if you will now join me in reading the affirmation together, it is number 576 in the back of your hymnals. If, recognizing the interdependence of all life, we strive to build community, the strength we gather will be our salvation. If you are black and I am white, it will not matter. If you are female and I am male, it will not matter. If you are older and I am younger, it will not matter. If you are progressive and I am conservative, it will not matter. If you are straight and I am gay, it will not matter. If you are Christian and I am Jewish, it will not matter. If we join spirits as brothers and sisters, the pain of our aloneness will be lessened, and that does matter. In this spirit, we build community and move toward restoration.
I have neglected to mention that Greg is also a graduate of the Citadel, which is more significant than BC #1. So I felt like I should come back and underscore that, but let's make Greg feel welcome as he steps into our pulpit, if you would, please.
So I would like to begin with a simple but often uncomfortable truth. So many of the problems that we face as a society, the divisions, the fears, and unfortunately the violence, are symptoms of something deeply personal, something internal. They stem from a lack of self-awareness. When we do not know who we are, when we run from ourselves instead of turning inward, we create room for fear. And fear, left unchecked, allows misinformation to take root. Fear tells us stories that are not true about ourselves and about others. Fear convinces us that someone else's freedom must threaten our own. Self-awareness and self-actualization is something that I became aware of as I studied psychology at the Citadel. And they taught us about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And they said if you have the basic needs, food, shelter, water, and then you continue up, and at the top of this pyramid is self-actualization. Maslow stole that from the indigenous people and then explained it wrong. Imagine that. Self-actualization is the first thing that you should focus on. If I know who I am, if I know what I have access to, then I don't have room to deny what you need because I'm secure in what I have. I've identified out loud as a trans man since 2010, maybe. I don't know, I stopped counting. I never thought I would stop counting the years. I stopped, it didn't matter. And as I've continued through my journey, speaking, writing, teaching, very often I hear the same sort of things. You're so brave. How could you do that? You're so brave. I'm just Greg. I'm just me. It is an act of, it is brave to be yourself in a world that doesn't allow you to be yourself, in a world that tells you that you should be yourself all the time, and the minute you are yourself, then someone has something to say. We watch people's lives from these screens, these devices. We don't know what they are dealing with unless they share. And when they share, we are so thankful to hear their story, their journey, and oftentimes because there's a piece of that story or journey that we can relate to. And we thought we were alone. We thought we were by ourselves, and we realized there's someone else who understands just a little bit more of me, a little part of me. So self-actualization, if I know that I have water here, if I know that I have water in my car and someone approaches me and they need water, I'm going to be comfortable giving them my water because I know that I have. But if we continue to utilize this hierarchy of needs, I'm going to see that water and think, I'm thirsty, I'm going to take it for me because I need it. It's a basic need. And now I'm being selfish. Whether or not with intent, I'm being selfish. And so to reflect internally, intentional internal vulnerability, being true to yourself. You can say the words you want to say to whomever you want to say it, but start being true to yourself internally, and saying things that don't align with you will become harder and harder to do. When we are grounded in self-awareness, and we know and we accept ourselves, something shifts, something changes. We realize that the same humanity that beats inside of us beats inside of everyone else. It doesn't matter how we look, what we believe, how conservative we are or are not. That realization is the soil where compassion grows. If fear continues to be unexamined, it can turn into suspicion, which can turn into stereotypes, and when repeated enough, often becomes the justification of hate. And hate, when legitimized, becomes violence. There are many feelings and emotions after what is now the third assassination that we have seen in our country this year that we are aware of. And regardless of the difference in thought, the difference in belief, the nastiness, all of the things, what happened to Charlie Kirk is unacceptable. The comments that are brushing it off are unacceptable. The truth is, many have felt that way. The truth is, the more and more we hear about some of the rhetoric and the words that he said, it's harder and harder to have compassion. But remove all of that. A man, a father, a husband, several which simply those three titles are here now. We have families that love us. And regardless, we should never be okay with violence in that way. It is impossible to build a compassionate society if we are unwilling to look honestly at who we are. Self-awareness is the most generous thing that we can do for each other. And yet too often, we avoid this work. We deny our fears, our insecurities, the complexities of life, and then we begin to deny the humanity of others. And this is where the denial of basic human rights sets in. It is not born from strength, it is born from a lack of self-actualization. Thinking about trans rights, having access to something so simple and basic as a bathroom, the right to be called by the name that you choose to be called by, these are rights that every human deserves. The right to live authentically with dignity, self-determination, and above all, safety. I worked for 5 years in law enforcement prior to my transition. South Carolina is a right-to-work state. I transitioned, there went that job. I loved being a police officer and a firefighter. There are very few agencies that have you do both. It is rewarding to be able to provide for people. It is rewarding to be able to save people, even if from themselves. But to know that the fear of me transitioning was so great that the department I worked for said, people don't know what to call you. They don't know if you're a boy or a girl. I said, officer works. No gender assigned there. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to process. And so it was better to get rid of me. But things happen for a reason. I'm a community health worker now. And so I am the trainer for community health workers of 3 organizations across the state. And community health workers do the work of the people, do the grassroots work. We find people to get rides, to help people, to change tires. We are the connectors between the healthcare system, the resources, and the people. And so now I get to do the exact same thing I was doing before without the scrutiny of, I'll say, politics. But then I've got involved in politics because everything that I was doing still didn't feel like enough. Everything that I was working on still didn't feel like enough. What can I do different? So I stepped into a leadership role within politics, just as I am. And it has a lot of people upset, and that's okay. Because we've done things for a certain way for a long time. And it's time for us to do things in a different way. And that's going back to understanding our connection to one another, to build community, to strengthen community, and to speak against things that are wrong, even if it's coming from our community. Here is a profound truth. The rights of trans people are the rights of all people. If society can strip away the humanity of one group, no one is safe. If they can deny the existence of my neighbor, they can deny mine tomorrow. So what do we do? Every great movement begins with self-awareness, with the courage to ask yourself, who am I really? What fears do I carry that prevent me from showing compassion? What insecurities tempt me to judge someone else instead of healing myself? It's not easy work. It takes honesty. It takes humility. But when we learn how to love ourselves, something remarkable happens. We create a space in our minds and in our hearts to be better to one another. That space where empathy grows, that space is where allyship takes root. That space is where the world changes. When we begin to heal those that have harmed us in the past, begin to appear different to us. We stop directly blaming everything wrong in our lives because of how they moved, because of how they put us in different situations or positions. And then we begin to see those people and feel empathy for them because we realize they weren't healed. They couldn't treat us a different way. They couldn't treat us better. They couldn't be an ally to us in the work we're doing because they have yet to heal. And they still may not understand they have to heal. They are worthy of healing. They deserve to be healed, to be free of the negativity that they have been holding on for so long. I had a friend I stopped talking to for a while because I knew the reason I was in a certain situation was because of them. I knew it. I just knew it. I never asked. I never clarified. I never thought of any other scenario. I knew it was them. Cold turkey, cut them off. I don't remember how we began talking again. But one of us reached out one day. I miss you, friend. Hey, I miss you too. Because at that point, the good times were playing back. And I said, why did you do this to me? They said, why did I do that? It was a job I got fired from. I was a microbiologist for about 70 days because someone changed my resume and I thought they made a mistake and forgot. I said, hey, this says microbiologist, my degree is psychology. They're like, hey, yeah, you can make it work. I was this close to having insurance. 90 days, I was this close to having insurance. And they said, hey, the Citadel doesn't have a microbiology degree. I said, that's correct. He was like, so you lied? That's correct. You got to go. Okay. It's like, I'm not going to argue. I was wrong. I thought my friend did that. And I found out it was less than a month. They also got fired from that location. I spent 4 or 5 years blaming them. They didn't even work there anymore. Went through the same thing I went through. So we see things through our own eyes. And so that's what we believe because that's what we see. And it doesn't mean what you're seeing isn't true. It is as true as the information that you have. But if we take the time to get a little bit more information, if we take the time to just listen when we're ready and when we're able to listen, then maybe what we'll see is something different, which also means the truth is now different. The more we know, the more we grow, the more we can truly understand what we see and what's going on. And even the things that we do not understand, we're okay with, because everything is not meant for us to understand. Trying to make logic out of the illogical doesn't work. My call to you today is to do the work. Do the inner work of knowing yourself, because when you know yourself, you will recognize yourself in others. When you love yourself, you will have more love to give. And then take that self-awareness out into the world. Don't get upset about drivers cutting you off when you're trying to make it to 10 o'clock service 3 hours away. Don't get upset when someone takes your parking space. Maybe they didn't see you. Maybe their mind is simply somewhere else. There is so much going on in the world right now. We have no idea what people are holding on to, what people are carrying. What we know is what we are carrying, what we are holding on to. And if we focus on ourselves, the love, compassion, and care that we will have for community will be greater. Build compassion into your workspace, your community, your family. Use it to speak truth against misinformation, to protect the rights of those who are most vulnerable, because their rights are your rights too. Let's refuse to let fear define us. Let's refuse to let misinformation divide us. Let's refuse to let violence silence us. Instead, let's be defined by compassion, connected by humanity, and united by a commitment to dignity for all. In the end, this work is not just about politics. It's not just about policy. It is about the deepest truth of what it means to be human. We are connected to each other. Living things are connected to each other. We speak to our plants. We speak to our animals. We can speak to ourselves to give the same positivity as we do all of nature that we respect. The rights of transgender people are the rights of all people. Let us never forget that, and let us live in a way that proves it. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Words that will drive deep into our spirits, yes? And we might be able to find our own way, to find our own selves there. If you would, please take your hymnals back into your hands and turn with me, if you will, to hymn number 134, and maybe stand together and sing Our World is One World.
The
Thank you. You may be seated. I do want to remind us that we will be gathering back together in this space at about 11:15 or so. And we'll ask Greg to continue to make observations to us as we ask questions of him to help kind of learn more deeply who we are, who Greg is, and how we might be able to find our own spirits there. So with the closing words, Greg, I'm going to ask you if you would, please.
Go into your spaces with empathy, compassion, care, and most of all, unconditional love for yourself. And know that your light will shine bright and it will be seen. Thank you.
As our time together this morning in the sanctuary comes to a close, would you please stand and join me in extinguishing the chalice? While we extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.